Salesforce consultant. Um, I'm also a community group leader leading the admin group Karachi. You guys can follow me on LinkedIn and Twitter. These are my handler. Okay. So moving on, we'll be talking about the reactive components uh, that Salesforce introduced. So there was a problem when we used to make uh, any input field in the flow as required, or we used to have some input validations on a text field or whichever input field. So what used to happen is if you go back, or if there is any if you have added any input validation on this field, if it is if there is any error in the input, then it shows the error but removes the value. So for the user, or for the user experience, it is a um, it is not a good experience. Actually, it gets very frustrated when you have a very long form to fill. So actually, it makes users to forget what value he entered previously. So now they have introduced this input retention in the screen components. So you can see in the image, if the value is not validating with the validation, then the error will appear, but the input value will retain. So this how user gets the idea, okay, so that's the value I entered before, now I have to update it. This so this basically improves the user experience. Moving forward, uh, so we can create more dynamic screen flows. uh, how? So we all know that the Salesforce introduced data tables in the screen flows. So what you can do is you can do two different components communicate with each other real time. So you can see in the image, there are two components. The first one is the search, which is a text field, and the second one is the data table. What you is you can make them communicate real time. What used to happen before is, if you want to show results, or if you want to update a value on some certain uh, components value, you had to click next. You had to go to the new screen to get the updated value or the result. But now what you can do is you can get the result or the updated value on the same screen by making those components communicating with each other real time. So you can see if anybody type uh, any value, it is communicating with the data table and it is searching real time. So again, that improves the productivity and the user experience as well. Again, so uh, this is another example of using the or another example of two components communicating with each other real time. And this includes now this includes the radio buttons, pick list, choice lookups, and some other components as well. So if you see the image, uh, the first one, uh, if the user selects any of these records, The opportunity stage gets updated accordingly to the records stage. So, for example, the user selected Acme 200 widgets. The status of this stage is prospecting. It automatically updates the pick list value. So, if the user selects the first one and the stage is value proposition, then it will automatically populate value proposition in the opportunity stage pick list. The other example is, you can see that there are two components, two radio buttons. So the first one is return reason and the other one is return type. The return type is acting upon this the selection of the return reason. So if I select defective, then according to your configuration, you can set automatically, you can return the, or you can show the result or the default value for the defective or don't want need option. So again, the impact is the user's productivity, satisfaction, and the user experience. uh, and there's another example of the reactivity is by using the display text. So in this case, what you can see is in this image there is a slider, and using the slider you can there's some calculation happening behind this flow. And what you can do is you can just show the text with which is changing, the amount is changing when you are changing the when you are updating the slider. So the slider is the long term in years. So if you increase the years, the monthly payment will decrease or increase. Or you can show the background, you can change the background as well, you can change the text as well on the basis of the uh, on your requirements, whatever your requirement is. And this is all real time. So you can show or communicate with each the other components real time and show the results as well, instead of going back and forth to the screens. uh, you can show the updated values real time. So how you can opt in for this, just have to go to process automation in the setup in Salesforce and search for the opt-in to reactive display text beta. So it was before, but now it is generally available. So I don't think that you are going to need to opt in for this, but you can check. So the use cases here is the provide the real-time calculations to provide an automatically calculated monthly amount for a loan, instead of going to the next screen every time. Let's say if you have this as a number field and putting a number and then going forward to get the monthly calculated amount every time when you change the loan terms. This is a better experience when you are changing the slider, or moving the slider, and you are getting uh, the monthly payment on the same screen. Yeah. So I have added some useful resources in this PPT, and let's move on to this because I know the images are static, and these to understand uh, an animation would have been a better. So I hope you guys see my screen.
Yes, Tiham, we can see your screen.
Okay, so you can see this on the basis of the text. You can just say if the text contains urgency, angry, or return, or urgency, you select the case priority. So you are checking that, you're seeing that on the basis of this condition, it is selecting the options automatically real time. These both are two different radio buttons. So uh, this is the condition that's being used. Uh, so So if the text contains exchange or return, then it is showing the it is updating the radio buttons. Similarly here, I showed you this image, but it was static, but here you can see it is animated. So on the selection of return reason, it is automatically updating the return type selection. In this example, you can see that on the selection of the record in the data table, you can see the record is updating next to this component, which is updating real time. So you can see how it is impacting the user experience and user satisfaction, and even the productivity as well. It is saving your number of clicks. It is saving the user to go back and forth to different screens. And this is the example. So uh, moving this slider, it is updating the new total after discount amount. So see, it is updating, all because of reactive components. Here another example, that you can show the completion of the form on the basis of if the field is empty or not. So you see the display text, it is a display text component which is getting updated each time the other components are getting populated. Another great example of it. And you see you have 248 or 255 characters remaining, that is also updating on the basis of the when the user is entering the value in the input field. Another good example that you can show uh, using the display text component, which is now enabled as a reactive component. You can show the percentage, and you can represent it by the color as well. So you see, if you are entering the or populating the form, it is displaying on the basis of it. Here is the formula that is being used in the display text. So yes, in the summer release, they explained how it used to work, that you have to go next and then next to show or hide different components. But using the reactive components, what you can do is you can on selecting the values in the first component, you can display another component in on the same screen instead of going back and forward. This is impacting uh, this is a positive impact on the user experience and satisfaction. So here's the example that I was showing before in the slides, that you can show another component on the basis of the selection of the previous component's values, and this is their roadmap. Oh, sorry. Another example, you see that you can show or update the your screen on the basis of the selection users input, which is impacting which is a positive impact on the user experience, productivity, and user satisfaction. So currently we are here, choice selection, and in the future uh, they'll be using the display text, which is I think they have enabled, and they are going to add more reactive components. They are going to enable more components to be used as a reactive components. For example, long text area, record choice sets, text templates, manual outputs, and record fields as well. So this is how you used to. So if uh, everyone is now updated, every org is now updated to winter 24, but summer 23, you have to opt in for this reactive screens. And in the last, we have a trail mix, which is actually by Adam White, who is the senior or product manager, I think, product manager of Flow. So this is the trail mix to understand the reactive components, and you can see, you can go through it and understand it better. What are the best practices, what are the considerations, how it works, what are the which components are enabled uh, as a reactive components, and I hope this will help you. So I have added these resources in this PPT. I think Rimsha will share this PPT with you. And yes, thank you.
Thank you, Tiam. Thank you for the wonderful session. And yes, for sure, I will upload the PPT on the community group page. Also, I will upload the recording to the YouTube channel. Other than that, let me know if anyone have any question. You can write in the chat box. So the question we have from Sabahat is this only for screen flows or every type of flow? So, Tiam, can you see the question?
It
Can
is, yes, yes. It is only for screen flows, because screen flows are the only ones that requires users input. The record triggered flow or auto launch flow, they triggered on your configuration, but in screen flows, the user input is required. So this is only for screen flows.
Okay, so this is only for screen flows. Okay, nice. Let's wait for another 5 minutes. If there's any question, you can answer those questions, then we can end the session. Okay, so Tam, can you see the chat with the question?
Yes, so it is now generally available in winter 24. It was previously introduced in the summer 23, but it was in beta phase, but now it is generally available in winter 24. I hope your orgs are updated to winter 24 now.
Tam, I think this question is more for the release. What is Salesforce release? She's just asking, not about just regarding flows. This is a general
Just
question. regarding Salesforce releases.
So just like Android or Apple releases a new version of their OS once a year, similarly Salesforce release the updated version of Salesforce every year, three times a year. So there are three releases: spring release, summer release, and winter release each year. I hope this is answer to your question.
Thanks, Yam. Thank you so much. Um, let's wait. Like if there's any other question. So we have another question from Safura. Can we call screen flow in Apex, or can we bypass parameters screen flow by any other mean?
Can we call screen flows in Apex? You can call a screen flow. We call screen flows in Apex? Uh, in Apex.
I
Uh,
don't think we can call screen flows from Apex. Tiham can for sure answer this in a more better way, but I don't think we can call Apex screen flows from Apex.
Now I'm trying to understand the question.
Okay.
Or can we bypass parameter screen flow by any other mean? Uh, Sephora, can you please explain your question? So, Apex is being used for the backend processes, and screen flow is you use screen flows when the user input is required. So it is equivalent to LWCs instead of flows which you configure to work on backend processing. So no, you cannot invoke a screen flow. Uh, you cannot invoke a screen flow in Apex. You can pass the parameters by creating invocable
Methods.
uh, methods. Yes, invocable class or methods, but you cannot invoke screen flows.
All right. So I hope it answered Savura's question. Um, any other question from anyone? Please write in the chat box. Cool. I don't think there's any other question, Tiham. So thank you so much for your insightful session, and thank you everyone for joining us over the weekend. Thank you so much. Let's we are good to go. You guys can reach out to me on LinkedIn or on WhatsApp, and you can email me as well, or there's Twitter account already associated. So if you have any other question, you can just ask or any other topic you would like to me or any other group leader to present in the group sessions, especially in virtual. So just let me know, and thank you so much. Take care. Bye bye.
Thank you, Rimsha. Thank you everyone for joining.
Thank you.